Hello, I'm RoseLynn Katz. Call me Rosie. Hope you're doing well out there. I'd like to tell you the story of how I gave up an addiction. It was back in 1987, and if ever I ran out of a cigarette in the middle of the night, then I had no choice but to run to the nearest motel where I could get to a cigarette machine. I never bought cigarettes in cartons, just in single packages, because I could not bear to admit to myself that I smoked that many of them. But I did. I was up to 2 packs a day, sometimes more if I were under even more stress than I already was. It was a stressful time. And I would have liked to stop, but I knew it was bad for my health. Even more importantly, in my mind, was the fact that I was so dependent on it. I was like a slave to it. I had given up my freedom to cigarettes. I did not like that. And now I had a new life in front of me, having just recently moved from Ann Arbor, Michigan to Westchester County, New York. It wasn't a move that I was entirely willing to do, but I really didn't have much of a choice at that time. And I thought to myself, well, I have a new life. This is a time I can maybe turn it around and make it a better life for myself. Easier said than done. I really enjoyed smoking. Smoking was a pleasure for me. It soothed me, it comforted me when I was under a lot of stress. And it gave me little sparks of pleasure that I could enjoy all day long. But the temptation of turning over a new leaf won out in that little struggle. So I decided, okay, I'm going to try it. The worst is what'll happen is I can't do it, but I'm going to try. So I attended a stop smoking clinic given at a nearby hospital in Peekskill. I was one of about 20 people, and I was the only one there who spoke without a New York accent. I was the only Midwesterner in the crowd, reminding me that I was a newcomer and an outsider, too. I liked the instructor very much. His name was Greg. He'd been a smoker, so he knew all about the pleasures of smoking. And that was helpful to me. He said 2 things I will never forget. One was, don't ever say you gave up smoking, because that implies that you made a sacrifice. And what kind of a sacrifice was it, I thought, to give up something that made a slave out of you? I was with the instructor all the way. He also said, you think smoking is your friend. Well, that was certainly true of me. I did think of it as my friend. But he continued, it is a friend that will lead you down the wrong path. All right, I could understand that. Greg had a method. His method was to get us to smoke, put less and less nicotine into our bodies on a daily basis. So that after a while, we started smoking 1 less cigarette every day than we usually did, until, after about 4 days, we were smoking 4 cigarettes less. And then we had to go out and find a brand of cigarettes that had less nicotine in it than the brand that we smoked. So I had to do that, and that involved going out and finding places that sold these cigarettes. So it was kind of a challenge. It was kind of fun, and gave me a chance to explore my new geography. So I went around and I got all these different cigarettes, and it was a very gradual process, and it was kind of fun too. And I didn't try to deny myself my favorite chocolate desserts at the time. I figured I deserved them, and this was no time to lose weight. And finally, after 6 weeks, I was not smoking. Did I miss it? A little bit. In those days, I was under contract to have a big writing project to finish it and send it off to a publisher. And I did this not with smoking. And I always used to think I could not possibly write unless I smoked. But I had a substitute for a cigarette in my mouth. It was a prune pit. And I kept working it in my mouth and turning it one way and the other. And sometimes I'd bite down on it real hard. And after that, well, I didn't need any more prune pits. I could write and not smoke. I could live and not smoke. And that was 31 years ago. So that is a story of how I am no longer an addict. And let me tell you, I am enjoying my freedom from that very much. Thank you.